Hello and welcome back to part 4. And as you can see, it's a time consuming unit, but it's also very important. I wanted to make sure I take my time. So for number 5, I want you to go ahead and do that one. And I want you to give me your answer as a decimal. So the area of the garden below is 28 1/2 feet squared. If the area of the section of tulips is 12 3/4 square feet, write and solve an addition equation to find the area of the section of roses. So what we're saying here is that 12 3/4 plus x is equal to 28 1/2, where x is the area of the section of roses. So the total area, if I could put it here, is 28 1/2. And we know that the tulips is 12 3/4. So this plus roses, which I'm going to call x, must be equal to 28 1/2. So that's how I wrote my equation. All right, so now we need to, if you will, get x by itself. So to do that, we need to subtract 12 3/4 from both sides. By converting them to decimals, 12 75/100 and 28 1/2. Subtract 12 75/100 from both sides. Add a 0 to hold that hundreds place. And I have 15 75/100 is how long, the area of the roses section. Or if you want to write the fraction, 15 3/4, but I asked for the answer in decimals. All right. On a weekend trip, Saturday and Sunday, the Jones family drove a total of 759 600 kilometers. On Saturday, drove, that should be kilometers, I'm sorry. And this should be kilometers, I'm sorry. Write and solve an addition equation to determine the number of kilometers they drove on Sunday. Okay, so the total they drove was 759. And on Saturday, they drove 362 8/10. So Saturday plus Sunday equals total. I'm going to subtract 362 8/10 from both sides. What's left over is 396 26/100 kilometers. All right, I think I want you to do this one for me. Yep, done for me. All right, Muthi gave her little sister $7 and was left with $33. Write and solve a subtraction equation that can be used to determine the total number of dollars Muthi had originally. So what she had originally minus the 7 she gave her sister shows you how much she has left. Add 7 on both sides. She started off with $40. All right, let's keep going. Did I want you to answer this one? Yeah, go ahead and answer that for me. After shopping, Mr. Elliott had a new balance of $135.25 on his gift card. While shopping, he bought a shirt for $23.50 and some socks for $12.75. Write and solve an equation to determine the card's balance before shopping. Okay, so just in general, your original balance minus what you spend gives you a new balance. So his new balance was $135, and he spent $25, and he spent $12.75. So we want to find out what this was, right? So original balance, what you spend, is your new balance, and we were told how much they spent and what his new balance was. So my equation would be B is a balance before shopping. B minus the sum of $23.50 and $12.75 is equal to $135.25, which is a new balance. So if I add those two, my equation is B minus $35.25 is equal to sorry, 3625 is equal to his new balance. So I want to add 3625 to both sides, or 3625 to both sides. And he started off with $171.50 on his card before he bought the shirt and the socks. And finally, guys, I think this is our last one. And no, I didn't ask you to do that one. To make a pie, Mardan needs 1.5 cups of sugar. This is 1 3/4 cups less than the amount of flour needed for the pie. So let's write and solve a subtraction equation that could be used to find the amount of flour he needed for the cake. So here's the way we wrote this is kind of challenging, but it's good practice. So he needed 1.5 cups of sugar. This, talking about the sugar, is 1 3/4 less than amount of flour. So we have sugar and flour. And the relationship is what? This, the 1 3/4 cup. I'm sorry, this is 1 3/4 cup less than the amount of flour. What is this? The amount of sugar. So this is 1 3/4 less than the flour. A little tricky. This is equal to 1 3/4 less than the flour. So let's solve that over here. We're going to add 1 3/4 to both sides. We have unlike denominators, so we have to find a common denominator, which is 4. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. 2/4 with 3/4 is 5/4. 5/4 is 1 1/4, so that's going to give us 3 1/4. All right, took a while, challenging, but it's the foundation. These equations get longer and longer and longer, so it's very important you know how to write one step or one variable. But anyway, good job, and we'll move on to division and multiplication. Talk to you soon.